either. We'll move on to the next game. I will start with Adam on this one because we're looking at the Green Bay Packers loss against the San Francisco 49ers, 24-21. I mean, from a Packers fan, how was the feeling of this game? It was a good run. Jordan Love still a very good quarterback, played his heart out in this game as well. What's the review from the Packers' point of view?
We're probably going to get a slightly more balanced one now compared to what you would have got on early hours of Sunday morning over here. Disappointing at the time, but you can't be disappointed with the season as a whole. I think it goes to show that he's more than capable. And I think if you look at the game purely as the game, we should have won. We had the opportunities to win. We got down into the red zone, I think, twice or three times in the first half and only came away with 6 points. A lot of people were complaining about the 4th and 1 appalling attempt of the Philly move that they do. It might have been a bad spot. It might not. It's not really something to worry about too much. I don't think it was just, not really something that we've ever done before. So a bit of a surprise that they even went for it, to be honest. But I think they played pretty well, and the future's very bright with a very young team. We've got absolutely no cap space, so forget about free agents. But come 2025, there's going to be tons of it. So, yeah, I think that's probably the way that you've got to look at it. But, yeah, at the time, pretty disappointing given how well they played.
Well, I still think you've got such positive hopes for the future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. They look very good, and the offense is kind of sorted to a certain extent. I think they probably need to go a bit more into O-line and I would argue another running back as well to sort of go with Aaron Jones. But yeah, the defense is where the improvement needs to be made.
Johnny, not quite the steamroll for the 49ers as maybe they would want in this playoff run. They certainly were taken to the edge of the game, but still came out on top. How much is that going to do for their confidence going into the NFC Championship?
Yeah, I think they were probably quite lucky at the end of the day. The Packers controlled this game for 3 and a bit quarters, but that's the Niners. They've got so many superstars. Christian McCaffrey once again put the team on his back and look quite unstoppable against the Packers D. But there were points in that game where many were calling for Brock Purdy to come out. He wasn't. He was missing a lot of throws. Wasn't taking many risks in this whole debate over game manager, etc. But he came good in the end, and ultimately it's about the final score. So it was a sloppy win. I'm concerned a little bit about the Niners defense, both pass rush, and I'm unsure about how they're going to stop the run against Detroit. We saw how good Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, they've been brilliant all year, but how much they obliterated the Bucs, who weren't necessarily that bad on the weekend. So that's going to be a really, really interesting part of the field that we're going to be looking at. But and obviously Deebo Samuel, his injury, could that play a big part? Obviously they've got a lot of guys, elsewhere, but yeah, that could be another significant factor. But yeah, the Niners, they march on. It's going to be a really, really good game against the Lions. I think they're obviously a step up from the Packers at the moment. Can they match them? It's going to be one hell of a game.
Yeah, like Johnny said there, Sky, they were slow off the mark. I mean, the Purdy stat line end's really good, but he came back from, they had to win the game. So it was 23-39, 252 yards, sorry, not 352, and 1 touchdown. How much do you think that he can put this team on his back and keep progressing through? Because he like Joey said, he was sloppy, but ultimately push them over the line, or is that easier said than done because of the superstars that he has on this team?
Yeah, I feel like he needs to get it. I'm going to tie in the Packers here because of all these teams we talk about, right? Everyone talks about Super Bowl windows. I mean, the Niners one as well. I know it's only Purdy's second year as a starter, but there's a lot of aging superstars. When you talk about your Kittles, your McCaffreys, etc. And a team like, I feel like when we spoke about Houston, me and you feel happy for them because they've dealt with injuries throughout the season. If I was a Packers fan, I'd be annoyed because they were getting healthy at the right time. You know, Aaron Jones was playing phenomenal. He's 29 now. We've seen teams like the Giants win a Super Bowl with 9-7, 10-6 records. I think the Niners were there for the taking, and the Packers could have beat them. But the 49ers are probably reveling in the fact that I feel like everyone's writing them off now. And, you know, someone like me or for a lot of us, them and the Ravens have been talked about to win the Super Bowl all year. So it maybe is the perfect opportunity for the 49ers now to sort of silence all the critics, go under the radar for the week. Everyone's on sort of the Lions hype train because they've had 2 good wins. But yeah, Purdy, like you said, the stat line looks good, but he was definitely nervous at the start when he almost threw that pick to Savage early in the game. But I guess Shanahan will be saying, look, you didn't turn the ball over. We still got it done. Keep doing what you've been doing all year, and they should be in a good place. But like Johnny said, I think the main thing is Debo going to be healthy? Because if not, then you're looking at a Ray McLeod or someone else to sort of step up and do his job.
I think they're more than capable of some of these guys doing that. I think they've got a few players who are pretty good at stepping up and filling in for these roles, but losing Debo Samuel if they don't have him for the weekend, which I feel like it was confirmed they won't, but maybe I misread that. It's a big loss, but like we've said, they've got a lot of stars on this team.